Kelsey Grammer built one of the most beloved father-son relationships in television history, and almost nobody realized it was filling a hole that had been open since he was 13 years old. Most viewers watching Frasier assumed the warmth between Grammer and his on-screen father was simply great acting. It was more than that. Grammer has spoken candidly about what John Mahoney actually gave him across those 11 seasons. Something he'd never had in real life. Something he'd quietly stopped expecting to ever find. Grammer was born in 1955 in the U.S. Virgin Islands. His parents divorced when he was 2, and he grew up on the mainland with his mother and grandfather, a war veteran who provided the closest thing to stability the household had. His biological father, Frank, remained in St. Thomas, and the two barely knew each other. Then, in April 1968, that slim chance at a relationship was permanently erased. In the unrest that followed Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, a man named Arthur Niles shot Frank Grammer outside his home after setting fire to the family car. Frank died from his wounds shortly after. Kelsey was 13. The losses didn't stop there. 7 years later, his younger sister Karen was abducted and killed in Colorado Springs by a man named Freddie Glenn, who was in the middle of a broader killing spree that summer. Kelsey, then 20, flew out himself to identify her body. Then, in 1980, his 2 half-brothers drowned in a suspected shark attack off the Virgin Islands. Before he turned 30, Grammer had lost his father, his sister, and both half-brothers. He has described turning to alcohol and cocaine to cope with grief he had no other way to process. Multiple arrests followed, eventually leading to treatment at the Betty Ford Center. Through all of it, he kept working, because performance turned out to be one of the few places that pain had somewhere to go. His break came through a casual lunch with a casting director who'd heard he was a funny leading man type. That meeting led to an audition for a new character on Cheers, a psychiatrist named Frasier Crane, and Grammer showed up wearing yellow golf pants borrowed from his mother's closet. The producers cast him on the spot. When Cheers ended and a spin-off was proposed, Grammer had one major requirement: the right actor to play his father. He bypassed the formal casting process entirely and called John Mahoney personally. Mahoney, a respected stage and film actor, only 15 years Grammer's senior, said yes the next day. What happened over 11 seasons of Frasier went beyond television. Grammer has said plainly that Mahoney gave him something he'd never had, a felt sense of what it might actually be like to have a father. He described Mahoney as honest, steady, loyal, and present in all the ways that matter most and are hardest to find. Mahoney died in February 2018. Grammer's response was 4 words posted alongside a photo of the two of them. "He was my father." When Frasier was revived years later, Grammer made 2 quiet decisions before a single script was written. The new bar in the show would be called Mahoney's. A newborn character would be named John. Neither detail was ever explained on screen, because some tributes aren't meant for the audience. They're meant for the person being honored. If this story stayed with you, leave a like and subscribe. There are more of these hidden tributes worth knowing about.